How to win in 2026. Let me start with the truth most people don't want to hear. 2026 is not going to save you. The economy won't. Technology won't. Luck won't. You either build the version of yourself that can win in 2026, or you get exposed by it. Winning isn't about prediction. It's about preparation. The world is moving faster. Attention is shorter. Competition is global, and the uncomfortable reality is this: average is being automated, outsourced, or ignored. So how do you win? You start by fixing the most important thing you own: your mindset. If you believe success should be easy, you've already lost. If you believe failure defines you, you've already quit. If you believe someone else is coming to rescue you, you're waiting for a future that will never arrive. Winners in 2026 understand something critical. Your identity drives your behavior. Your behavior creates your results. You don't ask, what do I want? You ask, who do I need to become? Because the moment you change who you are, your habits change, your standards change, your tolerance for excuses disappears. Next, let's talk about pain. Pain is not the enemy, comfort is. Every meaningful upgrade in your life will cost you something: sleep, ego, certainty, old versions of yourself. The people who win are not tougher, they're honest. They don't lie to themselves about what the work requires. They show up tired, they show up scared, they show up when no one is watching, and while everyone else is chasing motivation, they're chasing skills, because skills don't care how you feel. Skills don't disappear on bad days. Skills turn effort into leverage. In 2026, the winners will be the people who can. Learn faster than others, adapt without complaining, create value that can't be ignored. Finally, this is the hardest part: ownership. No blaming, no excuses, no stories about why it's unfair. If your life isn't where you want it to be, don't get emotional, get responsible. The moment you own everything, you gain the power to change anything. So here's the challenge: decide today that 2026 will not happen to you. It will happen because of you. Build the discipline, acquire the skills, embrace the struggle. Your identity decides your future, because everything you do flows from how you see yourself. Most people think success is about setting better goals, but goals are surface level. They're wishes with deadlines. When pressure hits, you don't magically rise to those wishes. You fall back to what you believe is normal for you: your standards, your habits, your identity. If you see yourself as someone who quits when it gets hard, no goal will save you. If you see yourself as someone who figures things out no matter what, the outcome becomes almost inevitable. Identity is the invisible force behind every choice you make. It determines whether you hit snooze or get up, whether you avoid the hard conversation or lean into it, whether you blame circumstances or take responsibility. You don't negotiate with your identity. You obey it. That's why temporary motivation never lasts. You can hype yourself up for a week, maybe a month, but eventually you revert to who you believe you are. Sustainable change only happens when you update that belief. Who you decide to be in 2026 matters more than what you want to have, because having is a result, not a strategy. Money, confidence, influence, freedom, those are byproducts. They come after you become the kind of person who earns them. If you want a stronger body, you don't chase a number on a scale. You become someone who doesn't negotiate with training. If you want success, you don't chase applause. You become someone who does the work when no one is watching. Standards are where identity shows up in real life. Standards are what you tolerate, the effort you accept from yourself, the excuses you allow, the people you keep around. When your standards are low, your future shrinks. When your standards rise, your environment, habits, and results are forced to follow. This isn't about perfection. It's about refusing to live below your potential on purpose. 2026 will reward people who intentionally design their identity instead of drifting into one. People who say, "This is who I am now," and then prove it daily with action, not loud action, not dramatic action, boring, consistent, disciplined action. Every small decision is a vote for the person you are becoming. Miss enough votes and you reinforce an identity that keeps you stuck. Stack enough votes and you become dangerous, in the best way possible. Pain is the tuition for progress, and everyone pays it. Only the winners choose how. You either pay the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. There is no path that avoids discomfort. There is only the path that disguises it until it's too late. Most people misinterpret pain as a warning sign, something that means they should stop, slow down, or retreat. In reality, pain is often confirmation that you're moving in the right direction. Growth stretches you beyond who you currently are, and stretching never feels comfortable. The problem isn't pain itself, it's the meaning people attach to it. They feel resistance and assume something is wrong. They feel fear and assume they're not ready. They feel overwhelmed and assume they're incapable. But discomfort is not a signal of inability. It's a signal of expansion. Every new level demands a new version of you, and that transition always feels unstable. If you wait to feel confident before you act, you'll be waiting forever. People who win understand that pain is temporary, but avoidance compounds. Skipping the workout doesn't hurt today, but it builds a body you don't respect. Avoiding the hard conversation keeps the peace now, but it destroys trust later. Procrastination feels safe in the moment, but it quietly steals years from your future. The pain you avoid doesn't disappear, it just changes form and grows interest. When you reframe pain as payment instead of punishment, everything changes. You stop asking, "How do I get rid of this feeling?" and start asking, "What is this preparing me for?" You stop running from resistance and start using it as a compass. The harder something feels, the more likely it is that it matters. That's why the work that changes your life rarely feels good while you're doing it. It feels heavy, it feels lonely, it feels uncertain. Winning isn't about being fearless or unbreakable. It's about being willing to feel uncomfortable longer than most people are willing to tolerate. The future belongs to those who can sit in the tension, do the work anyway, and trust that the pain they're paying today is buying them freedom tomorrow. Motivation is unreliable because it's emotional, and emotions are inconsistent. You can't build a future on something that disappears the moment life gets hard. Skill acquisition is different. Skills don't care about your mood. They don't need inspiration. Once built, they show up for you every single day. In a world that's changing faster than ever, skills are the real currency, and the people who win are the ones who obsess over becoming valuable. Most people wait to feel motivated before they start learning. Winners reverse the order. They start learning, and motivation follows progress. The confidence people are chasing doesn't come from positive thinking. It comes from competence. When you know you can do something, fear loses its grip. When you've put in the reps, doubt gets quieter. Skills create self-belief because they give you evidence. The harsh truth is that motivation makes you feel good, but skills make you dangerous. Motivation gets applause. Skills get results. Anyone can feel inspired after a video or a speech. Very few are willing to sit down and practice something poorly until it becomes sharp. That willingness is the separation point. That's where futures diverge. In 2026, opportunity will not be evenly distributed. It will flow toward people who can solve problems, communicate clearly, adapt quickly, and execute without being told what to do. Those are learnable skills. No one is born with them, but learning them requires humility, patience, and repetition. Things the ego hates. When you prioritize skill acquisition, you stop chasing shortcuts. You stop looking for hacks and start building foundations. You trade intensity for consistency. You understand that every hour spent learning compounds, even when the results aren't visible yet. While others burn out chasing motivation, you quietly stack capabilities. Skills turn effort into leverage. They make you harder to replace and easier to trust. They give you options when circumstances change. Motivation might get you started, but skills are what carry you through chaos, uncertainty, and pressure. And the people who commit to learning relentlessly are the ones the future keeps rewarding. Extreme ownership is the moment your life actually becomes yours. Until then, you're reacting, explaining, and waiting. The fastest way to lose control of your future is to believe that it's someone else's fault. Circumstances, timing, people, the system, those explanations may feel comforting, but they quietly strip you of power. The second you blame something outside of you, you give it control over your outcomes. Ownership is not about guilt or self-criticism, it's about leverage. When you take responsibility for everything in your life, especially the parts you don't like, you gain the ability to change it. Even when something isn't your fault, it's still your responsibility if you want a different result. That mindset is uncomfortable because it removes excuses, but it's also liberating because it removes limits. Most people want fairness, winners want results. Fairness doesn't build futures, responsibility does. When you stop asking, why did this happen to me, and start asking, what can I do next, the momentum replaces frustration. Ownership turns setbacks into data, losses into lessons, failure into feedback. Nothing is wasted because everything becomes usable. Extreme ownership also forces honesty. You can't grow if you're lying to yourself. You have to look at your habits, your effort, your consistency, and admit where you've been cutting corners. Not to shame yourself, but to reclaim control. Every time you say, "I'll do better when things improve," you delay progress. Things improve when you do. This mindset separates leaders from spectators. Leaders don't wait for permission, perfect conditions, or validation. They act, assess, adjust, and act again. They understand that waiting to feel ready is just another form of avoidance. Ownership means you move first and figure it out along the way. When you fully own your outcomes, confidence changes. It's no longer fragile because it's not dependent on praise or approval. It's rooted in self-trust. You know that no matter what happens, you'll respond, you'll adapt, you'll take the next step. That belief is powerful because it makes you resilient. People who practice extreme ownership stop feeling like life is happening to them. They become active participants instead of passive observers. They don't waste energy complaining about what should be different. They focus on what they can control right now. Their time, their effort, their standards, their choices. That focus compounds day by day, decision by decision. Ownership builds momentum. And momentum changes everything. Next, for consistency is the real separator, and it's brutally underrated. People love intensity because it feels heroic, but intensity is unreliable. Consistency is quiet, repetitive, and often boring, and that's exactly why it works. The future doesn't reward the person who goes all in once. It rewards the person who shows up even when nothing exciting is happening. Winning isn't built on big moments, it's built on small actions done long enough that they become part of who you are. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. They sprint, burn out, disappear, then start over and call it trying again. Consistent people don't start over because they never stop. They don't rely on willpower, they design systems, they remove friction. They make the right actions easier and the wrong ones harder. They don't ask themselves every day if they feel like doing the work. They already decided that's just what they do. Consistency also builds trust, and trust compounds faster than talent. When you keep your word to yourself, even in small ways, your self-respect grows. That self-respect turns into confidence, not the loud kind, but the grounded kind. You stop needing external validation because you know you can rely on yourself. That inner stability becomes an advantage in chaotic environments, especially when others are emotionally reactive and inconsistent. What people miss is that consistency shapes identity. Every repeated action is a vote for the kind of person you believe you are. Skip often enough and you reinforce an identity of avoidance. Show up often enough and you reinforce an identity of discipline. Over time, effort decreases because the behavior becomes automatic. What once felt hard becomes normal. That's when momentum takes over. In the long run, consistency beats talent, motivation, and even intelligence. It outlasts bad days, bad moods, and bad circumstances. It doesn't need perfect conditions. It just needs commitment. When you commit to showing up daily, imperfectly, quietly, without drama, you put yourself on a trajectory that's almost impossible to stop. The people who win aren't doing anything magical. They're just doing the obvious things longer than everyone else is willing to. And that patience creates results that look sudden from the outside, but were inevitable all along.